everyone, it's Jordan. Today I'm going to be giving you guys underrated book recommendations. So I haven't done this video in a long time. I've honestly missed doing book recommendations videos. I used to do that all the time on my channel, but then somehow I just stopped doing them for some reason and only do certain ones. But I want to bring up doing book recommendation videos again because they're a lot of fun to recommend some books to you guys. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about some of the books that I think that are very underrated and I haven't seen many people talk about them. But anyways, let's get to the book recommendations. So the first book that I want to recommend to you guys I think is very underrated is Norway by Kit and Kat Seaton. This is a graphic novel series that I really love, and this is basically a Beauty and the Beast retelling but with a Scottish mythology twist to it. Sorry, my phone just went off and then Siri thinks that I'm talking to her, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I love this graphic novels series. This is one of my favorite graphic novels that I've read, and I got this from a book box many years ago, and I haven't heard many people talk about it, but I think it's a very awesome graphic novel series, and plus I really love the artwork, and I hope that there's going to be a third volume of this because I really enjoyed the series so far. And yeah, I think if you're looking for a book, a graphic novel series that you want to read, I do recommend Norway for this. And the next book that I want to recommend to you guys that I think is very underrated is Skyborn Sparrow Rising by Sarah Corey. This is a middle grade series where there's a group of people that are categorized as different types of birds. That's from what I remember reading it. I've read this last year, and I like Jessica Corey's writing, and I know she wrote The Forbidden Wish, which I also think is underrated, and then she has another another middle grade series that is called the Mistwick series, which is the first book is The Mistwick of Musicraft. Yeah, I'm looking at my shelves over there, but I do really like the first book so much that I want to continue on with the series. But I think it's a really awesome middle grade that I've read, and plus I really love the book cover, but that's not the whole point of this. But I just think it's a really good middle grade series if you're looking for a middle grade fantasies that is very unique. I do recommend this for it. And the next book that I'm recommending to you guys I think is underrated. I don't own this book yet, but it's Alicia in Atlantis by Natalie Lane. This is basically a middle grade series where there's I don't know what was going on, but it's about a girl who's looking for her father, but she finds out that she's a resident of Atlantis, and she didn't know about it until someone from Atlantis recognized her and said that she was from there. And that's from what I remembered. I read this as an arc, like maybe 2021 or something like that, and I really enjoyed the first book. I haven't read the second book yet, and I'm really mad about it. And I do recommend this to people who loves the Percy Jackson series, and it's a really underrated book, and I really enjoyed it from when I first read it. I really love the characters. I really like the world. So yeah, I definitely recommend this book to anybody who loves the Percy Jackson series. And the next book that I want to recommend to you guys that I think is underrated is Perfect Harmony by Emily Albright. This is about a girl who is a top cellist in her school, and then she has to compete with the guy who just moved into her school for a scholarship or something like that. I know there's some kind of competition, and I really love this book. This is like the book that I read from my very first e-arc that I ever gotten from NetGalley, and I just really love the story. I really love the characters, and it's a really good YA contemporary book that I've read, and I know I do want to reread some of these books because I don't usually reread books often, but I do really would love to reread this one because I think it's one of my favorites that I've read since I've gotten e-arcs from NetGalley, and this was the first one, and I still remember enjoying it from me reading it. And I think it's definitely, I do recommend this to anybody who loves music or just like a YA contemporary book that has competition in it. So yeah, I definitely mostly recommend this to anybody who loves music. And the next book that I think is very underrated that I want to recommend to you guys is Disney Chills Part of Your Nightmare by Vera Strange. This is a creepy middle grade book about different characters facing different villains. In the first book, you meet the main character named Shelley, and she wants to become popular and be one of the popular swimmers in her school, and then she runs into Ursula, and then she made her deal with her, but it wasn't the deal that she originally wanted. And I do really enjoy this book. I haven't heard anybody talk about this on BookTube. I know with a lot of Disney books, some of them are just are either popular or just so underrated that people have no clue about it. I know when I first saw this book, I was at one of the retail stores I've worked at that they have like a small book section, and I saw they have a cover with Captain Hook, and I was like, I would love to read it, but I want to read the first book, which is Part of Your Nightmares. And I really enjoyed it from when I've read it, and I can't wait to continue on with the series, because I know there's other villains in this series that the main characters, different main characters face. I know this one's, my fault, I'm so sorry. I know there's Dr. Facilier, Captain Hook, and I know there's a Cruella de Vil or something like that, but I still think this is definitely one of the Disney books I really enjoyed. If you like looking for a creepy version of different creepy books from Disney, this is definitely one that I would recommend, especially around Halloween. Another book that I think is underrated that everybody should read, and yes, it's another Disney book that I love, which is Delphine and the Silver Needle by Alyssa Moon, and this is a book about one of Cinderella's mice, and I do love the mice. They're my favorite characters from Cinderella, but this is about Delphine, who is an orphan, and she was raised by one of her mice, and then she gets invited to the palace for, I'm trying to remember what reason it was, and then the rats are trying to take over or something like that. But I do love this series. I know I've read this for a 48-hour readathon like maybe 2 years ago now, or like a couple of years ago, and I just love this book so much. I love Delphine, I love the characters, and I really like this book. I know that it's a duology as far as I know. I don't know if there's any more books, but I know that the sequel came out sometime last year, and what I love about this book, it has the map of the whole kingdom that Cinderella takes place, and I just love this book so much, and I know that this is very underrated. I haven't heard anybody talk about this on BookTube, and for me as a Disney fan, this is definitely one of my favorites that I've read, so I do recommend this if you love the story Cinderella, or you just like a specific characters from this story from Disney Cinderella that you enjoyed. So yeah, I definitely recommend this to anybody who is a Disney fan or people who like Cinderella in general. And the next book that I think is very underrated is Match Me If You Can by Tiana Smith. This is about a girl whose best friend who's a matchmaker kind of person at school, and then she asks her best friend to match her with a popular guy in school, and then she ends up finding out that maybe someone else could be her better match than the popular guy in school. And I really enjoy this one. I really think that it's a very underrated book because there's not a lot of books about matchmaking and stuff like that, or there's a character who's really good at matchmaking with anybody, especially in YA as far as I know. I know there's another book that I could think of that has similar plot to it, but I really enjoy this. I know I've got another book by her that I needed to read. It's called How to Speak Boy or something like that, but anyways, I think it's a really underrated YA contemporary, I think, and it's also very short, so like if you're looking for a very quick read, this is definitely a book for that. And the next book that I'm recommending to you guys is actually written by one of my old classmates in college, which is The Grey Mansion by Micah Lee. This is about a girl whose parents really wanted her to find someone to marry, but she's not really into marrying anybody, and then she gets invited to the Grey Mansion, and then something mysterious happened at the mansion. I'm trying to remember correctly. I've read this like 4 years ago, and I know that I really enjoyed this. Like I said, this is coming from one of my old classmates in college, and if I can find a link to this book, if anybody's interested, I'll link the link down below so you guys can check out the book yourself. I don't know if she wrote any more books as far as I know, but I really enjoyed it, and I really, like, I know I haven't published a book myself, but I'm still happy that I've read a book from an old classmate of mine in college, and it was a decent read. So I don't know where my brain is right now, but still, anyways, I've really enjoy this book, and it's a historical fiction as far as I know. I know that there's possibly fantasy elements to it, but I'm trying to remember on top of my head. But yeah, I think this is definitely another underrated book that I think anybody should read, especially from an old classmate of mine. And the next book that I think is very underrated is Macy by Melanie Crowder. This is about a girl who's it's a historical fiction that takes place in the 1950s, and she wanted to go into Broadway, but then she's been holding back her dream. But then her grandmother was about to pass away, and then her grandmother told her to go after your dream, try to become a Broadway star like you always wanted. And that's basically the premise of this book. I love this book so much, and it's very underrated. I know I got this from BookBox a few years ago, and I know I can like the video in the corner where I read this for a Once Upon a Book Club, because it was a Once Upon a Book Club pick, and I really enjoyed it. And I haven't read any books about main characters trying to go after their dream to be a Broadway star, as far as I know. And if you're looking for a historical fiction, but you're looking for ones that are not so popular or very underrated, this is definitely my recommendations for that, especially if you're a fan of the 1950s timeline. And the last book that I want to recommend to you guys that I think is very underrated is Frozen Beauty by Lexa Highlighter. This is about our two main characters who are sisters, and then they found out that their sister has been murdered, and then the boy next door has been wrongly accused of murdering her, and they're trying to find the real killer. And I really enjoy this one. I think it's very underrated because I know there's like a lot of mystery books out there, but I haven't heard anybody talk about this on BookTube. But I know that I really couldn't put it down with this one, because there's a lot of twists and turns that I was not expecting, and the twist at the end, oh my gosh, that was very unexpected. And I'm not going to say what the twist is because spoilers. So yeah, if you're looking for a YA mystery that you just take it, like, you know, want to go outside of the popular books, this is definitely the one that I would recommend, especially if you're a fan of sisterhood and books, because I know I'm a big fan of sisterhood and characters that have sisters or sibling relationship in this. So that is all for my underrated book recommendations. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and comment down below what underrated books that you would recommend for me, because I would like to know. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new videos. Also, you can follow me on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, which all links will be down below for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!